Just over the mountains, much of Asheville, North Carolina, is underwater this afternoon.
I-40 shut down in both directions between Tennessee and North Carolina.
The French Broad River is reaching record levels near the Biltmore estate.
The Buncombe County Sheriff says its office received more than 1,000 missing persons reports. Thousands of people are still without power and water. Areas of the city are completely underwater, trapping people without basic supplies.
What's up, girl?
What isn't up? The earth swallowed Asheville almost whole. It's fucking crazy. And that's the best way to describe it. As you know, you've been through things in life like this. We've been through earthquakes and riots and hurricanes and mudslides, and I've never seen so much damage.
Really?
And absolute just, and then you feel so guilty because you didn't get harmed, like your family's okay, or your house got missed by a foot from trees coming down everywhere. And it's hard.
Oh.
It's hard to watch this. It's hard to see people. They don't have no power, no water. We're almost near 14 days, and it's 40 degrees this morning. People are freezing. People are, and I just drive around all day. I drive around all day.
What are we talking about?
Where's about Asheville?
Hey, Bert.
Hey, Asheville got fucking lit up, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's
crazy.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can.
But it's wild. I just you growing up in Florida, you don't expect the mountain cities to get hit like that at all.
Never.
And it's just
Never.
devastated.
It's I mean, so we always celebrate like birthdays or anniversaries. We go to the only place that's like a chain here is like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So it's like, that's us living large. And so we go, it's fucking gone. Like it's gone. It's the 1.7 miles from my house is like a fucking war zone. The Grand Bohemian Hotel, floor to ceiling, ruined. It won't open for 6 months.
The Biltmore.
The Biltmore is closed until further notice because there's so much damage to the trees. It's the trees. And Doug was out. Okay, so the hurricane hit in the middle of the night. It's always in the fucking middle of the night when everyone's like trying their best to hold tight. And trees were, because we live on 2 acres, it's snap, snap, boom. And then I'm hearing pop like they have recently with Milton with the transformers and shit. And then I go out in the morning and we have fucking pine trees and poplar trees that are just everywhere, covering your entrance. They missed our house by maybe a foot. And then Doug is out there because we're building a house in the back. And Doug is out there in a fucking John Deere earth mover, in a steel cage trying to move the water because we have a river coming at our house. And he's moving water to try to funnel it. The videos, just this water, it jumped like 43 trillion tons of water, gallons of water. Katrina dumped like 8 trillion from what I read. Chimney Rock doesn't exist. It literally, Chimney Rock, the only thing standing, this is when I cry, is the fucking flag. The American flag is the only thing left standing. I'm sorry. We're just exhausted and we're so lucky. I mean, I got power and water after 6 days and I felt like I had won the lottery. And then every one of my staff has nothing left. They lost everything. My friend, her child ran to their car, their house.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. It's just really awful. Oh. And I lived, you guys know, I grew up with you, Bert, Florida. And then fucking Milton. My dad is in Melbourne Beach. My brother's in Tampa Bay. My mother's 74 and Aldo's 78. And they're in freaking Orlando. I'm like, what? How much more? How much more? And then now they're saying there could be another one. I'm like, fucking, where do you go? Where do you go? Avery was like, I'm coming home. And I'm like,
to what?
You can't come home because then you become a burden for me because then I can't breathe. I'm just trying to, I just wanted to take care of my employees.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. you can open your house, you can shower them, you can give them hot water. I'm filling tanks of water up. I'm handing cash out because no one could get cash for 10 days. The banks the banks had no power. So you're giving cash out. And I remember just standing at the gas station, just sitting for 2 hours, and you're just like, this girl behind me was 20, she had $10. And I was like, what do you need? She goes, I don't know how to get home. And I'm just like, fuck. So, it just, the guilt is what's getting me.
Yeah.
The guilt it's almost like survivor guilt, because I'm hearing because we couldn't see anything, you guys. We were out. I had no connectivity to the world. Like we still have no cell. I'm sitting inside a realtor right now using their Wi-Fi because we have no cell or Wi-Fi, which boohoo, right? First world white chick problems. But there's a level of like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I didn't know. And then I saw, and I was like, oh God, like the devastation is just, I drive all day long looking for Wi-Fi connectivity, passing out water that I put in my car because you don't know how to help. You just don't know what to do, So anyways, that's what's going on in this beautiful little mountain town. It's awful. And then you just go, fucking, how do I open up a spa back and be like, anyone want to spend $120 to get a massage? Really? Oh, you can't feed your family because FEMA's going to give you $750. That's if you can print out the form. Oh, you have no Wi-Fi to print it out? No.
What?
What the fuck?
That sounds crazy.
Well, it is. And there's so many conspiracy theories and stuff. And I can tell you, I've been on the ground. I've driven to every direction within 60 to 70 miles to see if we could get out, because you don't know what's next. If the power hadn't come back on, I needed to get out. But we got 2 cats, a dog, and I was worried about our property.
Yeah.
Looting. Thank God people haven't gone crazy, but we had some, Walmart got looted and stuff. And downtown looks like a ghost town. Someone said it looks like just homeless hippies taking over downtown because it's empty. So we're doing a GoFund. I'm doing a GoFundMe because I have personally, I want to get the money to people that I know, and funnel money into the Samaritan. We got Samaritan's Purse, which out here, Beloved, World Kitchen. They're doing everything they can because we're going to get forgotten pretty quickly here. I mean, our mission hospital was running on a backup generator and it went down. And from what I heard is there's so many bodies here that are not identified. Our one hospital here is literally a morgue. Now that could be a rumor because I can't get there and I don't know what to do to help. So my spa team is out there trying to give away free massages to first responders.
That's
because
amazing.
Everyone's exhausted. They just need to be touched. You need to hug people's necks. And I'll tell you what it does. As you guys know, it rattles to your core what matters. It rattles like work, fuck off. Like I love my people. I love my people. I love my job. But at the end of the day, the fact that my daughter got to see my face for the first time in 7 days, it was crazy. Yeah. And Avery doesn't cry. Her and Doug are like the robot queen and king. And they both, just lost it. And it's like, that's what matters. And you guys know. And so anyways, we're trying to recover. And I'm just worried that we're going to get forgotten out here. You know what I mean? And it's just the water infrastructure. It's no running water. And so people couldn't get formula for their babies and shit. So that to me broke me. It broke me. I couldn't take it anymore.
I'm going to let you guys go and have a podcast. I just want to check in on you, Rumbley. I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
See you in LA
Thanks, man. Out. I didn't wear makeup on purpose because I knew. I'd see your damn face.
I know. I've been thinking about you so much. And you're right. The big concern is that Milton overshadowed everything Helene did, right?
And it was, Helene was worse apparently, but I have no connectivity at home. So I don't know what it looks like.
Helene was worse. For sure.
Yeah. Yes. Milton was supposed to be 5, like a Katrina 5 that was going to take out Tampa.
It was a 3. Oh, it was a 3 and it went south of Tampa a bit. And when I last checked the news, Orlando still had power, hadn't really lost power significantly. I think they'd lost power more significantly in Tampa and in like Sarasota down there.
Yeah.
But I think all things considered, everything
could have been worse.
It could have been so much worse. All things considered, I think Helene was far worse. And I think you're right. You know, they jump on what is news now. And I didn't know any, not that I didn't know any, I didn't know the extent that you're describing until you described it.
Yeah.
Right. That you have no
I think that's what's
water.
happening because no one has, I think it's hard to see here because like we got lucky because 6 days in, all of a sudden the power came on at 2 a.m. and we were like, oh my God. And we just held on tight because we thought it was going to go away real quick.
Right.
It stayed on and we're on a well. The only reason why I have running water is because we're on a well.
Gotcha.
And the power gets on. Now, I have been raising koi fish like a fucking farmer, but I love fishing. I'll catch the shit out of the fish and I won't touch it. Someone can clean it. I'm definitely a glamper when it comes to fishing, but I'll fish. But these koi fish I've been raising for 2.5 years, they're huge. And I had to watch some of them die because we had no sub pump, no pump to oxygenate the water. And watching the fish die broke me. I was like, it was like the, and Doug is the guy who's like, I mean, I know you love these fish, but you know, we can eat it. I mean, that's Doug. He's the guy. He's like, I mean, that's food source. And I look at him, I'm like, I'll eat the dirt before I'm going to eat one of the koi fish that I call fatty that just died. Like, and that he had to get out and scoop out. And then I'm like, I'm crying about that. And our neighbor drives by, pulls over and is like, are you okay? Because I'm at the pond crying. Meanwhile, she is going up to her house because her husband is dying of rectal cancer as we speak with hospice trying to get a tree cleared to get to his house. That's my neighbor. And I was like, I'm so sorry that I'm crying about a fucking fish and your husband is dying in your house. Like, it was like, what else? Yeah. What else is going to hit you with a bat in the head? I mean,
well, you don't have to justify what makes you cry. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back. It sounds like. I mean, how stressful it is to have everybody that you employ lose everything. I can't imagine if everyone in this house lost everything, and I was the one person that had well water and power. I would feel the exact same way. I would feel terrible.
You just feel helpless. You feel hopeless, terrible. You want to give everything you can. Your business isn't bringing in a penny because you're physically not allowed to open. Yeah. We have power downtown, no running fresh hot water. So you can't open your business or you can get fined. You can get fined if you're past curfew. They have a curfew, obviously for safety because they don't want people being out in the streets, with live wires still on the ground. I mean, to get to our house, there were probably 50 to 100 trees that took out power line spectrum, any line. And you're talking live wires. And we were driving, it was apocalyptic. And when people said biblical, I was like, come on. I mean, that's a little dramatic. And then I was like, holy shit balls. I was driving on the freeway and saw the speed limit sign on the freeway had mud at the top of it. And I was like, that's not spray. No. That was the force of mud that came from Chimney Rock because the dam broke and everything in its path.
The dam broke?
I believe the dam broke from, again, hearsay. It's all I hear because I can't look up reports because we're not getting facts yet. Yeah. And I don't have live news. Right. And if I have time and I'm doing this, I'm usually trying to get a hold of people at work or I'm trying to keep that afloat because we provide the skincare. Like a company bought my companies, I'm in charge of it. And my team has no running water. So how are they supposed to work? Right. We just got water back there. And the people going, where's my order? You're like,
it's underneath this big pile of mud over there, right?
It's where the UPS is. Oh, wait, UPS isn't running yet? Yeah. I hadn't seen a UPS, FedEx, or an Amazon truck in 10 days. I just saw one yesterday for the first time. That's because where I live, I'm driving, looking, and I just couldn't, nothing was open. Nothing's open. Now things are starting to open, but they're boil water. But the grocery stores, I mean, we were in a 2-hour line. I videotaped it because I was like, I've never stood in line for 2 hours to go and get groceries on a limited basis, cash only. Who has cash? Right. Thank God we did. And we've stacked it just a little bit because Doug's a little bit of a doomsday prepper, but he didn't have a generator. And I remember I had to go through the emotions of being mad at him a little bit. Isn't that fucked up? I had a moment of like, my fish died because you didn't plan. And I was like, who the fuck are you? Why didn't you plan? Oh, wait, yeah, my fault too. Didn't have a really great floodlight so we could see where we were going. It's pitch black. I had 2 panic attacks because I'm claustrophobic. And Doug said on night 4, damn, he's like, it's pitch black outside. You can't even see your hand in front of your face. And I start having a full blown,
Oh my God.
I can't breathe. I got to get out of here. I get out. It's fucking like being in like dark, a lagoon down in the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, I'm in a coffin. I got to get out.
Yeah.
Took a Valium. Didn't work. It was like a flea on a freaking horse, you know? That's probably like Bert on a plane. If he doesn't start early, he's probably like me. Yeah. I'm off I have to take 2. And then at 2:30 in the morning, I wake up like this. I got to get out. And I'm panicking. And Doug is like, what's going on? The dog's freaking out. And I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. And he can't. He doesn't. He's like, what's wrong with you? Right? He don't understand.
Yeah, no.
So it's really, the dynamics are interesting. You kind of learn a lot about each other. And he goes into robot general, like military, even though he has no military. He goes into robot general mode. And he can be kind of a dick. Mm-hmm. And I love him dearly. But I'm an empath. I'm feeling everything I'm hearing, I'm feeling it viscerally through my bones. Mm-hmm. And he's like, but that's not happening to you. And I'm like, I know. Matter. It feels like it's happening to me because I can feel what that would feel like. And thank God we're in therapy because that'd be a problem, you know? So we're trying to connect while feeling so, because his work, he has no internet. He can't, he's trying to work, but he can't. And his team is nothing. There's nothing. What else can we do except wallow and figure out where to go and help and drive? And you drive all day. I'm driving around all day and you feel aimless and stupid. Like, what am I doing? Oh, I'm downloading Love is Blind because I have no TV. I got to do something here.
Yeah.
Numb and dumb. I need to be numb and dumb.
Yeah. Numb and dumb. That's
numb and dumb, baby.
That's your motto. Numb and dumb. Sometimes you got to do it. We love our hobbies, but the gear they require can add up quick and be a lot to keep track of. Family proof your family's favorite hobbies by stocking up on Life 360's Tile Tracker. So when important stuff does go missing, you just use the Tile app to ring it when it's nearby or track down its location on the map if it's farther away. Tile is also the first and only tracker to offer an SOS alert. Just triple tap the button in the center of the Tile device to discreetly send an SOS alert to everyone in your Life 360 circle to signal for help. Unlike competitors, Tile won't alert thieves to its presence via notifications. Easily find your family's lost or stolen stuff. Just ring your Tile when something goes missing or track down its location on the map. Add your Tile trackers to your Life 360 and see your family and all your family stuff in one spot. Personally, I love putting a Tile on my car keys because invariably I put my car keys in the same bowl. I live with 2 other drivers who do not put my car keys in the same bowl. I get so frustrated not being able to find my car keys, and Tile takes all that frustration away because all I have to do is bloop, bloop, bloop and make it make a sound and I can find my keys and be on my way. Family proof your family with Life 360's Tile Tracker. Visit tile.com today and use code WIFE to get 15% off. That's tile.com, code WIFE. Wife the Party is sponsored by HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Make this fall the tastiest season yet with farm fresh produce and easy autumn-inspired recipes delivered right to your door with HelloFresh. Choose meals that match you and your family's lifestyle. With preferences like fit and wholesome, quick and easy, or vegetarian, you'll always find something to love from HelloFresh. I have been a customer of HelloFresh for years, and I love the convenience of opening my fridge, pulling out fresh ingredients, and having a delicious meal in 30 minutes, and I didn't have to shop for any ingredients. It makes life so easy. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/freewife. Applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/freewife. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. This is a good lesson, I think, for everybody listening, is that just because you don't live in a hurricane zone, a tornado zone, an earthquake zone, doesn't mean that some natural disaster can't happen for you, you know, like we have, this is what I have at my house that is different from what you had at your house. I have a small battery pack, but it stores a lot of juice that has multiple plugs, but also has a solar charger so that once the sun comes out, you can recharge it. Yeah. I have a generator that works with propane or gasoline because you can't get gasoline. And if you have 2 or 3 propane tanks that you're going to use for your grill anyway, then you have that available to you. We have tablets.
I knew you'd be prepped. I knew. Well, you also live in earthquake central.
Well, I live in earthquake, but I bought almost all of this stuff for my dad who lives in a tornado. But
that's right.
Asheville would never expect any of this, but now lesson learned for everybody. For everybody that you should have at minimum some way to keep yourself charged with some kind of solar is the sun. Everybody has access to the sun.
The sun's coming out
at a certain
hopefully
point.
If it's not, we're done.
Totally different apocalypse happening.
Then we're in the Arctic tundra. Then we're dealing with snaggletooth, frickin' saber-tooth.
Yes.
Then we have time checked and we're going backwards. I don't know about you, but it's a little too rapey back then. I'll go forward. I don't want to go backwards.
No.
Although I'll take the 80s. I will go back to the 80s, girl. Right. I don't know about you, but
maybe
I would take the 80s. 80s and 90s all day. Yeah. I will love it. Even bell bottoms.
Even bell bottoms. Anything. Yes, I agree. But
you're right. It does. Preparedness. And I never in a million years thought, anything like that. But I'll tell you what also I'm going to get. I'm getting me a big ass Yeti cooler because ice was gold. Ice was gold for everybody. It was like, do you have ice? No. No one still has ice here.
Right.
Because you have to boil the water. You can't boil water, can't make ice. And so it's just very interesting how little things like that. I ate a Big Mac for the first time and was like, oh my fucking God, it's amazing. It's the biggest piece of shit burger. Right. But I loved every ounce of it. And I'll eat that whenever I want if I wanted it. When you can't and you're like, what can you eat? And I mean, I have had more, again, first world problems, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on white bread, on Wonder Bread, because that was all that was left. I was like, well, I won't ship for a couple of days, but here we go. I mean,
yes,
it's a little hard when your body isn't used to I eat plenty of bad stuff, but I was like PB&J and Doug looked at me. He was like, this was the funny part is you look at each other, you're like, what are you eating? And he's like, I'm going to shave the mold off of, I'm going to eat this dairy that's been refrigerated, frozen. Now it's out of the refrigerator. I'm like, you have to go on Nathan to Freight because your stomach can handle anything. Right. Because I'm the one who gets the IBS. And I'm like, the last thing I need right now with no running water is the shits.
So let me ask you this. When did you know it was coming to Asheville?
We heard the reports like 2 days before. I mean, they were kind of doing, this whole thing, trekking it, saying it could hit the mountains. And we're like, okay. I mean, we've had hurricanes come kind of through here and they wander up through Savannah and Charleston or dump in Charleston in Myrtle Beach, maybe Hilton, because that's freaking ocean.
Yeah.
Outer Banks, get it. It flooded here in 2004 and it rose the French Broad River 4 feet, flooded Biltmore Village, which is that 1.5 mile from my house. And people knew it. Like that's what happens. But it was like, and it receded. Sucked. The businesses recovered. It sucked. 20 years ago. The last time nothing like this, the flood of that 2004 was in 1920 something. I think I heard 12 or 20. It was early 1900s. Nothing has happened like this ever.
Right.
Ever in this area. People flee Florida to come here.
Yeah.
And people were trying to come up here for Milton. And we were like, don't. You're going to come to nothing.
Yeah.
Because if it hits bad, we're going to have nothing. We have no resources for you.
Right.
I mean, our gas lines just got better and we're 2 weeks in where you're not waiting 2 hours to get gas.
Wow.
Where you run out of gas waiting for gas.
Wow.
Now it's better. For now, as long as the trucks can continue to keep coming in. The food is interesting. The food is getting more sparse in the grocery stores. Mm-hmm. There's no meat. There's no produce really. So you're eating like crackers, you can get frozen food if you have power.
Right.
But if you don't have power, you're fucked. Like you what are you eating? What are you eating?
It's all processed.
So we knew
food.
it was coming, but it was almost like, I heard some Red Cross. I was sitting somewhere and I heard some people that were, eating something while they were trying to help people, which was awesome. But I heard them talking and I was listening and they were talking about like, they were from Florida. They were, I just don't understand how these people didn't get out. Like, I don't understand why there had to be warnings. This is what happens. And I had to go up to them and I said, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I go, I know it's hard to wrap your head around it. And I'm a Floridian. I get it. I go, but that's like telling, and I read this on Facebook, that's like telling Floridians, prepare for the blizzard. Well, what does that feel like? What does that mean? You got 2 days. What can you get? Amazon shut down. Everyone started ordering shit when it's too late. The stores shut down early because on Thursday, we had to shut down because everyone was canceling. People were like, I can't come into work. It's raining too heavy. By Thursday, we saw the flash floods happening. There were alarms going off for certain areas. At that point, you're done. You can't get out. There's nowhere to go. It's too late because it was 400 miles wide. So it hit 6 states. Right. So where are you going to go? Yeah. And who has 395 gallons in their car ready to rock and roll?
Right.
We had half filled tanks. I was like, okay, we're good. We'll stay solid. We don't need to go anywhere. We'd never have had to evacuate anywhere in my life. Even in Orlando, I never evacuated. Right. We sat. But it's just people that couldn't evacuate. I mean, you've got people you got people up in mountains, Georgia, very similar.
Yeah.
We have people still stranded out here on mountains that the only way they're getting saved and getting shit dropped is by mules are going up mountains right now.
Mules are going up mountains.
Mules. They have videotape of mules. We have the Cajun Navy. My brother, who's a former Green Beret, he has access to stuff. And he told to me, he's going to keep an eye. This was 2 weeks ago. He said, if shit goes bad, because he was waiting to see if stuff started to unravel society. You know what I'm saying? He goes doomsday prepper. He goes to Kuwait in his head. He's in Iraq. That's where his head is. And he's like, I have a team that will come. I have a friend that has a private helicopter. Will come extract you. He used the word extract. And I said, Steve, listen, this is not Afghanistan, but I get you. And I love you for that. He was like, no, I'm serious. If shit goes down, we won't be able to talk. Just know you'll hear a helicopter coming in to extract you with Team 206. We got him. I'm like, you're fucking nuts. But I love that. That's our family. My dad, a former Marine, is hunkering down in Melbourne Beach with his fishing gear. I just, But my question is this, crazy. Like, I don't remember Helene. Helene was projected, I know, to go like over Savannah. But it turned and went more north, right? Yeah. So it went north and
then cut out east.
A little?
It went north and then hooked east. When did you know that it was coming your way? And did you know it was going to be like Category 5 or whatever? Or did they say, hey, the storm's coming your way, watch out? Like,
right. Storm's coming your way. Be stocked up. Power could go out because we have a lot of trees. We're a mountainous town, Blue Ridge Parkway. I mean, it's all trees. Everyone's surrounded by trees here. That's what we're known for. It's the Blue Ridge Mountains, right? We are mountain town. And the thing that we did not anticipate, I believe, was how long would the power lines be down, and had no concept that the entire water system, the pipes running underwater, under land, would be completely destroyed. Every single water tower was destroyed, the infrastructure, because of the amount of water that flooded this town. It was, that's why they say biblical, because it was 80% of the people get their water. And again, these numbers are hearsay, bullshit, could be real. I don't know. I'm just going to throw it out there. It's called North Fork. That's a water tower. It supplies apparently 80%. It is indefinitely. They're saying we don't know when it will be back to restore, because all the underground pipes were just unearthed. They were unearthed.
Down a river. Washed up. Is that
washed up, cracked in half, infrastructure bleeding to them, the sediment that went into them. Oh, yeah. We have now plastic and chemicals. So everyone here has to boil water. Even we've been told to boil water on our well. And we get 30 gallons every minute. but even our well was chugging, and we were like, what the sediment? And it's just, you can't imagine with probably 1 million trees go down. 1 million, let's just say, that's a number I'm pulling out of my butt, but 1 million trees, everywhere it goes, it's either going on across a bridge, taking out power, taking out your internet, taking out water lines. And there are trees that are so old and enormous. The tree that fell behind our house, you couldn't get your arms around. Doug and I both, maybe our arms together would go around it. And it filled up. I had a video. It filled up like 20 feet tall. When you cut it down, it hit 20 feet tall. That's how much stump. And it just happened to fall that way instead of that way. That way, I wouldn't be here with you because it would have landed right where we were sleeping. So it's just, we knew Wednesday, hey, we probably should, maybe get some canned goods. I'll go grocery shopping. I'll make a crock pot dish. This is what I did Wednesday. I made chili and was like, we can eat chili for a few days, right? We're good. Sour cream, it'll last. Yeah, we're good. I mean, this is what I was doing.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen this. I've never gone more 2 days without power.
It sounds like Katrina.
It was, from what we understand, the amount of water that dumped was possibly 9 times more water by the trillions of gallons than Katrina. And this place isn't, just like Katrina, we're just not built for that. Our infrastructure's not.
Right.
Because they don't have there's no way. You can't even imagine. I mean, my bank that I go to is shut down till they don't know. 3 feet of mud water. The train tracks behind them fell and all the mud, it went like 2 miles down the road. Like on Thursday of last week, that's a week from it. Mud was still rushing. And you're like, isn't it going to dry up? Hasn't rained in a week. Can we to recede? It couldn't go down. The French Broad River, I mean, I saw a place that was this cool. It's called the Bywater. It's on the water. It's been there for years. Dust, like particles, like floating dust. Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, beautiful lake here. A lot of tourists come here for that lake. It just looks like sawdust on top of the water because it's houses that basically almost exploded.
Wow.
It's crazy. And coming from a small town, Georgia, it's that, I mean, the strength of this community, it reminds me of 9/11. It reminds me of COVID, but we couldn't be with each other. Mm-hmm. The PTSD of 9/11, COVID, and then this has on steroids, because at least during COVID, you were at home, you had your niceties. You just didn't know if you were going to die or not if you went outside.
Right.
This was, you could die if you go outside. You may die if you stay inside. What's going to happen? And then nothing's open. Nothing's available. That, I think, was the worst for people, is you just don't know what you don't know, and you're cut off from the world.
And being cut off from the world would be really scary.
Yeah.
Really, really scary. That's crazy.
That's the hardest part.
It sounds like, how in the world do you even begin to recover? Like, how is FEMA there?
I don't know what FEMA looks like. So for me, this sounds crazy, and I don't even want to give into the conspiracy theories because they're running rampant out here. I will tell you, people are pissed off, and then you get people and then it starts to become political. And I will say this, it was beautiful for 10 days. I didn't hear a word about politics. Not one single mouth. No one said the word Trump. No one said the word Harris. No one said anything other than, what do you need? How can I help you? It was the most beautiful 10 days of horrific, what's the word? Like, it's not calmness. It was like this horrific scene, but no one was divided. It was beautiful, right? Because we're in a very divided state here as well. Obviously, it leans red, but it also is very purple. Asheville is very blue. So I didn't want to, if anyone had said a word to me about any of that, I was going to have to, I'd go to jail if the jail cells are even open, because I choked somebody out. Right. Because I don't give a shit right now. What I care about is the fact that my spa director literally was in her car saving their lives. Like, that's what I care about. Right. I don't give a shit about Trump or Harris. And what I found is, but then I had access for 5 seconds onto Twitter. And I was like, what's going on? And then all these conspiracy theories, but I don't know what's true and not because I don't know what FEMA looks like. Do they have a truck that says FEMA? Do they have a shirt that says FEMA? Because I've been to 4 different Walmarts trying to help pass out stuff, volunteer, and they have showers and they're doing free showers and laundry for people, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. They're like makeshift outside. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't say FEMA on the outside. So I don't know where that is. I know this. I know cowboys, good old country boys, sheriffs, cops, military, these men, and I'm talking, and women, fucking farmers, they are coming out in droves and they are rolling it up. They're putting on any last leg of the boot they can. Their boots are getting ruined. The firefighters they are risking their lives trying to save people that are so far remote that they can't get help. I mean, they're literally putting sheets out on the ground with charcoal or rocks that say SOS because they can't see through the fallen trees. I mean, the fact they have mules going and delivering diapers. I mean, that's happening, but you won't see that much because you don't have Wi-Fi. We can't get on TikTok to do that, right? So it's hard to get.
But what's crazy to me is I haven't heard about that until you said that. So who is reporting on that? Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe someone is reporting on it.
They are. I think they are. It's probably more localized in this area on the East Coast, maybe just because Daniel, one of our trainers for Provide, was in Arlington, Texas, at a Lowe's Arlington, doing some training because his house got hit by a tree. And he was like, I have to fly out in 2 days when the airport opens. He goes, I got to go. I have to get out of here. And I'm like, you do. His mother's in a wheelchair. He's like, I got to go. So he got out and he was like, he cried. He said he cried so hard in the airport because there was no news in Texas. He said no one in Texas who survived floods all the time and hurricanes, they didn't really know what was going on. So when he shows up, he's an emotional wreck. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. I mean, I said, we survived. It was real. And they're like,
Yes.
Is it raining still?
That's my point. Yeah. All I've heard about is Milton. I don't know that all of this is happening in Asheville. I haven't seen that in the news. I haven't seen any of this in the national news. Obviously, California is very far from Asheville, but this should be national news like Katrina was. We were here. Yeah. I watched everything that was going on, or everything that the news sources were more present during Katrina than they seem to be in Asheville now. Mm-hmm. And they seem to have shifted back to Milton. And not that Milton and what was going on with Milton wasn't important, but it sounds to me like this is a community and a city that's just shut down. Ravished. It's completely decimated, much like New Orleans was.
Yeah, it's been compared to that. And a lot of people, the saving grace is we have that, everyone has like that Nextdoor app where you hear about your neighborhood. Yeah. That's been, when you get a Wi-Fi and you can get that, that's where I'm getting a lot of my information. And we have had an incredible FM and AM radio station, iHeartRadio and Kiss Country. They have been nonstop, 24/7, giving as much information because that's the only way I even heard of what was blocked off. Where are they donating waters? What churches is giving out cots? So you could send people there. Like, that's the only real connection. And shout out, Josh Michael is amazing out here. He's a DJ. I believe it's iHeartRadio. And they're doing the best they can. And they are a wreck. I mean, the men are crying they can't even breathe. They're like, I'm sorry, hold on. And they're trying to hold it together because people are calling going, please tell someone I can't find my cousin, or my mother is stranded. I had to turn it off because I was like, I want to run to the mountaintop and I can't get to anyone. I can't help.
But that's a good point, is that everyone should have an FM and AM radio. First of all, I have one. Yep. I have a little, it's a little portable radio that has batteries, but also has like a solar.
The crank?
And a crank. So I could either crank it, so that if you have this extended period of time where you have no connectivity, at least you could have a radio station.
Absolutely. It's critical. LeeAnn, I'm going to tell you something. The best thing we could do is when we did get, again, like I said, I drive around. I've gone through 395 miles. I only know that because the car will tell me, this is how many miles you have till you're empty. I've filled my car up now twice because I'm driving around trying to get connected. Mm-hmm. So you drive and you're also, then you see there are people standing in a line to get a shower at the YMCA because they opened it up here for hot water because they got water on a well system or they had a generator. And you just are like, hold on, people are in the hot sun. I'm going to give them water. So you pass out water to them. Like, I believe what you can do in these situations, one, what you're talking about, critical, being prepared. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you live in a place that is so isolated from anything that you know nothing could happen. Bullshit. Be prepared. Amazon, the moment I could order on Amazon and got a Wi-Fi signal that was 1 bar or 2, I was ordering Amazon. I think I spent $1,000 on Amazon. I was like, I need to get this. We need to get that. And now it hasn't come yet. But once it gets here, now we're going to have this is our emergency kit. This is where, because we weren't prepared. And I know better, but we live here and we have been very comfortable in our isolationist, if you will, of not feeling like we could be touched in that way. Rude awakening. And I think everyone felt that way. No, I don't know anyone that left until they were like, we have no water, we have no power, we have to go. They have young kids, schools indefinitely closed here. And what's so sad is the 9th graders went through COVID and now they're seniors.
Oh my God.
And now they're cut off from school because there's no water and internet. So what happens? They can't even do online learning. So I don't have a child like that right now. Thank God. She's in college. So is yours. You're good. But it's just, I think that's one of the biggest messages. You're right. Is one, love your neighbors, get to know them. I cooked for a neighbor. You wash their laundry. You do what you can, because I feel like we're so divided in this country right now because of political bullshit. And it's almost like,
it's more than that. Like, it's social media.
It's huge. It's all of that.
When we were kids, there were 3 channels. You were all watching either Dallas or Knots Landing or Dynasty. And that's all anybody was ever watching. And so
the news,
you had
morning and night.
Yes. The news at 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock, everybody watched it. Everybody watched Johnny Carson. Everybody, there was an inherent community in the way that we consumed goods, services, products, entertainment.
Yes.
And it is not true anymore. Everything is so individualized, which it is great in some ways, but in things like this, it's not great. You do have to love your neighbor. You do have to be part of a community. It's definitely the why to continue, kind of reaching out of yourself and embracing larger groups of people, not just 1 or 2. I feel so bad for your employees. I know when I was texting you, or I messaged you, I think on Instagram, because again, I didn't know Asheville was in that state. And then I really didn't. And then someone said, how's your friend Rumbley doing? Asheville's like shut down. And I went, Asheville shut down? The day I DM'd you was the day I learned that you might be in dire straits. And that was many days after the storm hit. Yeah. I just didn't know.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. And I think a lot of people that were Floridians kind of knew, because a lot of Floridians come to North Carolina when they need to. And they've been watching it. They watch it. We watch hurricanes in Florida like a hawk because Yeah. But I think people were surprised, and it took us so by storm. I mean, literally, I saw we had 2 alerts come up on our phones that were a mandatory evacuation for 2 areas that one is 2 miles from us, but it wasn't us, and another area. But they did exactly what they needed to do. The government here did everything they could do, but they couldn't even anticipate this. They did. Hey, if French Broad goes up as high as it could, if French Broad River goes, you're going to get flooded in that area. Be prepared. Those are all businesses right down in that little village area, in a hotel in the Biltmore State, But then Swannanoa, I mean, that's what, 20-minute ride for me? Decimated. My bookkeeper, trees fell, ruined, her car got completely totaled, and 3 trees fell on their house. She said if it had come within 4 more inches, it would have killed her whole family, because they all were in bed together. And they got out and they watched their neighbor's house and their neighbors inside their house go off into the river.
Oh my God.
She's so fucked. No, she can't even talk.
Did they find her neighbors?
She has no idea.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's how, cause it's like, it's not me, but she's like my 6 degrees. She's 1 degree separated. I don't know her neighbors, but I cannot imagine watching hearing people screaming for help, and you can't do shit because you're trying to save that's the stories, and you don't know how do you console that? Hey, I love you. Oh my God, that's awful. When can you be back to work? I mean, like, what the fuck?
That's ridiculous.
Your brain. Yeah, exactly. And people that aren't in this at all, and I work for a company that bought my companies. They've been wonderful. They've been saying, hey, are you guys okay? How's the business doing? They're worried about that. I'm like, we're okay. It's going to be fine. There's no damage, at least to the building. And how long do you think? And I'm like, dude, we can't even think straight. I mean, it's getting to where you feel a little normalcy because every day there's a little bit more progress. Mm-hmm. But the PTSD stuff starts creeping in. And I've been very fortunate. I went 6 days, and was like, this sucks. This is horrible. But then it's when you start seeing the imagery. I had no idea either till I started seeing it and hearing it and knowing the people it was affecting. That's when I lost. I couldn't. I was like, I'm a mess. I can't even talk. That's when I did the GoFundMe because I was like, that's all I can do is throw money at it and my physical being, because what else can I do? I don't have a helicopter. I don't have a donkey. I don't have a chainsaw that's working right now. Doug's got to get that fixed. That's the other thing. Chainsaws. If you've got trees near your house, have a Mac Daddy chainsaw. Yep. Because the companies that are coming around, bless their hearts, they're working nonstop. But they want $3,500 cash to cut down a tree that could be on your house, and they may or may not take it away. That may cost another $1,000. They're not gouging because their people have no power either. Yeah. Yeah, totally. I was grateful that I didn't see gouging happening with gas, at least where I was at. I didn't see that. Mm-hmm. I saw people giving. I saw people loving. There was a couple moments. I had one moment with somebody where I almost went nuclear on them because they were a little impatient. I said, hey, I got to give them grace. But, there's no waste management happening. So everyone's trash is they're just starting that. But bigger corporations like the YMCA, bless their hearts, they're helping everyone. But I threw something away in the trash because it was a 4-ounce bag of trash that had cat food and cat shit in it because I can't take it anymore near my house because of the smell. So I took a bag and their thing was empty and I dumped it and someone got on to me about it. And I looked at him. I said, dude, I just passed out 100 waters to the people in line to go get showers at YMCA. I need to be able to dump my shit somewhere. Can I please dump my shit right here? It's cat shit. And they were like, yeah. And inside I'm like, come on. Right. I'm doing everything I can. Please, I'll go into your business and dump their. But they've been so helpful. I had to and pull it because, natural stuff would be like, nah, you kidding me? You want to suck my. Yeah. But inside you're like, hey, you've been through hell. I have no idea if they have family that are stranded and they have no water, so you just give each other a little bit more grace. I just pray that, we're so far from being done with this, right? So we need a break. No more. It needs to stop. Friggin', okay, climate change. Great. What do we need to do? Right. Is there ice cubes we can put in the ocean? What do we need to do? Right. Because I don't know how much more Florida can handle. Right. If North Carolina gets hit again in this same path,
it was such an anomaly, though, that you got hit in this way. It's true. Hopefully, it's very unlikely that Tennessee, North Carolina, which are the other two states that I know about that got really heavily affected. Yeah. What happened to Georgia? Went through Georgia with nothing. How did
Atlanta? They thought was going to be bad. Some in Georgia got hit, but not a lot.
Not really.
I think I think it honestly went over North Carolina and was like, I kind of like it here. Let me just kind of let me just kind of ruin this town and just hang out. And just
I wonder because similar things happened to Tennessee. It doesn't sound like nearly as bad as Asheville. But still, I saw a lot of flooding happening in Tennessee. Yeah. And, Bert's doing a benefit for Tampa. LeeAnn Morgan's doing a benefit for Nashville for Tennessee. And then the guys we were talking about earlier are doing a benefit for Asheville. And Taylor Swift's giving money. And
Jason Aldean. Aldean raised $7 million and gave $500,000 of his own money. And it's like, dude, like that kind of shit, like that. I don't know where that money goes. We don't know, who gets it.
That's the hard part. That's the hard part, actually. So when we decided to do something in Tampa, we wanted it to go to Tampa. So as great and as wonderful as the Red Cross is, the Red Cross can use that money at their discretion. So we may give it to, have a fundraiser in Tampa and it may go somewhere else entirely. And that might be okay, but we partnered with Metropolitan Ministries, which is a charitable institution in Tampa that puts everything back into Tampa.
Right.
So, and I think they're doing the same thing in Nashville. I wonder what that institution is where you are. Do you know?
Well, Samaritan's Purse is supposed to be one of the best ones I've read about. That and Beloved. That's the two that keep rising up. We have a church here that has several campuses. It's a big one, Biltmore Baptist Church. Big givers, just constant charitable. I know World Kitchen's here. We have so many local, like very localized, like Mountain Bizworks is trying to help get some disaster relief to the downtown Asheville is a ghost town, right? Like it's hippie hipsters, homeless hipsters from LA, it looks like down, but all the businesses are shut down. So what do they do?
Yeah.
Because we're a tourist driven town and they're telling the tourists, do not come.
Yeah.
This is our leaf season. October, November, allow our businesses to survive in Asheville because January, February, March, April are really rough, right? Mm-hmm. Then we get through, it picks up, and then it drops off again. October, November are our time to shine. And downtown Asheville is a ghost town. Biltmore State is closed. Grand Bohemian Hotel is until further notice because it's going to be months and months for restoration. So that's the question. I think right now, I can't imagine the unemployment. And this town can't afford all that.
No, yeah.
They only get so much from the government and all those things, the wars and all that, and so that's when it starts to become political. And that's what I hate. It's just like, dude, give it to the people that can actually do something with it. When people can't feed their families, you're like, okay, what do you need? Do you need cash? So for me, that's why I'm like, fuck it.
So what's your GoFundMe? Tell me what your GoFundMe is and what it's for.
I think I sent you a link. I don't know if it opened or worked. I just started a personal GoFundMe so that I knew where the cash was coming to me. Some people have Venmo'd me too. I've raised about $4,000 so far. I put the cap at 20 just because I was being like, I don't know what I don't know. And then all of it's going to go directly to my team because they're trying to get unemployment right now because we're closed. There's no income. So, and most of them have no power, no gas still, no Wi-Fi, no water, no running water. And especially like my spa director, she lost everything. I mean, Cane Creek, she showed a video, she lives in a mobile home and it literally came right up to her mobile home and her 13-year-old son's bedroom is mold, just straight, everything's ruined. Mm-hmm. And a teenager, that was so devastating to him and her family. She was like, all of her stuff, she's like, she gets it. She can emotionally go, that's just stuff. We can get new stuff. But, she's struggling. And I'm like, okay, how do I make you whole? What do I do? So, and also giving to the local, the Beloved, the Samaritan's Purse. So my goal is if I raise enough, then I can distribute and equal it out and give it to them and give it to the team and hold them on until we can get back open.
Yeah.
That's my fear. Because the rent, October 1st, withdrew from their accounts.
Wow.
No matter what. Same here. I mean, the rent for my unit withdrew. There's no question. The mortgage on that, the loan payment on that. And SBA is like, disaster relief, not a problem. It's a fucking loan.
Right.
It's like COVID. COVID's great. PPP money, that was amazing. Can't do that again. The country will go completely broke. We get that. But businesses are just recovering from COVID still 4 years later. We've never gotten back. So you're like, is it the nail in the coffin? Is it, what do you do after 18 years, And I think Samaritan's Purse, Beloved, World Kitchen, people's personal individual GoFundMes, just because if you know the person, you trust the person, then it's going in the right direction.
Right.
That's why I told people, for me, I love what Red Cross does, but I want it to go where I know it will have a physical impact on that person's life.
Yes.
Red Cross for me is hard because I don't want it to go all the way across to places I may not want to support or wouldn't choose to support that if I had a choice. So,
well, it's different. Yeah. The hard part, I think, of course, we are generous people. You, me, we as humans are generous people. But if you have $100 to give and you give $100 to Red Cross, how far does that go? As opposed to giving $100 to a personal GoFundMe and $100 to one of your employees means
that would buy their child clothes.
Exactly.
Or buy clothes.
Would buy groceries for 2 weeks or whatever. So then it's about the impact of the money, right? How can you make an impact in someone's life? And obviously Red Cross does so much in a broad way, but and they do things in individual ways. I've always been a big fan of the Red Cross. Yeah. But this is different to me. If you're someone like me who has a means to give to both places, I can do that. So I can give to your GoFundMe, and I can give to Metropolitan Ministries, and I can give to the Red Cross. And anybody else who has, and listen, give $20 to each place. Give $20 to
I'm saying $5. Dude,
you know,
if
that's
1,000
my point.
people gave $5, that's $5,000. Do you know what that would do?
What was I?
That's
we
amazing.
were doing something. We were doing something with the Girl Scouts where we were raising money, and we were like, $1. If 100 people gave $1, it's $100. And
That's right.
for the person, one person to receive $100, for me
It's
to give
life-changing.
$1 is super easy. But for that person who receives the $100, that means so much. Giving doesn't have to be this monumental amount of money.
No.
It doesn't have to mean that much to your pocketbook, but the effect it has when it's collected and a collective gift is meaningful. So
it's huge. It's huge. I just can't wait. Like I've told anyone that's in my circle that's struggling, I'm like, I need your Venmo or your Zelle. I need that. I need to know, because when I know that I've raised the amount, I will distribute, and they will receive that benefit from that. And I don't want it to run through payroll, because then payroll taxes come out. And then, no, I need this to be a charitable donation to you, from me, from my people.
Yeah.
And because I know that I have amazing people like you in my life, and Bert, and I know that I have people that have a sphere of influence that give a shit about people, that love people hard, and you love people hard. You guys do, and you always have. That's why I love you guys, obviously. But it's people that know how to just push through the shit, and you guys are part of that for me. And I cannot express gratitude enough.
Well, I love you, Rumbley. You know I love you. You know you're like my sister.
I know that.
You're my sister.
I know that.
I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I'm so sorry the whole town is going. It's just heartbreaking.
It's sad. It's a beautiful place. You've been here.
You know, it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I'm so sorry.
I know. I appreciate that. We do. Our town does. And I know that the people that watch you and love you, they just love your friends, and they've given me love, and I want to give it back. And so whatever we can do to do that.
Everybody loves you, Rumbley. You are one of my favorite guests. Everybody's like, when is she coming back? When is she coming back? When is she coming?
Anytime. I love you. You have no idea. I've got so much shit to talk about with you. Once this is over, we can just talk and talk. And
I know. I got to fill you in on my empty nest naked man, because I have naked man. I have naked man too.
Excuse me. Let's just have a fun moment. I saw your freaking book club about the sex stuff, and I was like, on Instagram, I was like, I should have been on that one. Because I would have had a lot of commentary. I would have had commentary that might have been really useful or not useful for anyone. But I was laughing so hard because I went through this. For me, Doug and I went empty nesters 2 years ago.
Yep.
And I went through my, the chandelier. And now I'm 50, and I'm like this. I'm really fucking tired. Really tired. I need the testosterone levels to just drop a little bit. I need them to drop, especially during a hurricane, just so we're clear.
Nothing else to do, though.
No, there's plenty to do. And it ain't that. Okay. Because ain't nothing working. It is on lockdown right now. Poor Doug, bless his heart. He was like, hey, you want a shower? I was like, no. Does this face look shower friendly to you? Is that the cute face? Isn't that one of those filters on Snapchat? I just do it naturally. Like,
in this biblical moment, you don't want to be that kind of biblical.
Are we dying right now? Is that how we're gonna get caught? Is doing it? Is that gonna be a picture for the firefighters to come get us? A tree on our heads, but boy, you were in there.
Naked man.
He's kind of gotten better at that. He still does the naked man. He'll still walk in and he's doing his hair because he started the Rogaine stuff, because it's got to happen.
Yep.
And he hates it, but I'm like, you got to get over it.
Yep.
And he's doing it. And as he's doing it, he's not dressed and he likes to do it and wiggle. I figured Bert would like that. Wiggling, because while he wiggles, what's happening?
Yeah, stuff moves around.
And I go, do I, hold on. I can't, my glasses are off. I can't see anything. I don't know what is that? I told you, get it out. He would die. He was like, what do you talk about with LeeAnn? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Oh,
you don't even know.
He'll never watch. It doesn't matter.
He would tune out after 30 minutes. If I didn't say
30
something.
minutes, he wouldn't last that long.
That's true. That's true.
30 minutes, that would be a marathon for him. No.
He wants to hear me talk about him.
Yes.
Because he goes, so did you talk about me? He likes to say that. Did you talk about me to LeeAnn? I go, no. He goes, did you tell her I'm funnier than you? No, I don't need to because you're not. Well, she'll be the judge of that. I'm like, you're driving me crazy.
Oh, Doug. Wife of the Party is sponsored by BetterHelp. Think of a time recently when you didn't feel like you could be your full self, like you were hiding behind a mask. October is the season for wearing masks and costumes, but some of us feel like we wear a mask and hide more often than we want to, at work, in social settings, around our family. Therapy can help you learn to accept all parts of yourself so you can take off the mask. Because masks should be for Halloween fun, not for our emotions. I was just talking about this the other day. There's definitely a time when I felt like I wasn't really myself. And I was in therapy at the time, so I could take those moments where I was like shutting down in a social situation I wasn't comfortable with, and I could take it to my therapist and go, why? Why was this happening? And how can I make myself more comfortable in those situations? If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Take off the mask with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/wife today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/wife.
I'm aching for a little bit of normalcy because, I like to laugh. I like to cry and laugh. I don't want to just cry. Yeah. So yeah. I think that's where you and Bert come in with me too, is that you always make me laugh and cry in a great way. And you make a lot of other people laugh and cry in a great way. So we need more of that. It's like COVID times again, it feels like. So I just appreciate you guys, and anything that you guys can push out into the wire, just let me know. And I think I'll resend you the GoFundMe link, because I don't know how, I didn't know how to do it. I just did it. And it was it's up and running. I got some donations. So I was like, okay, good.
Yes. So we'll put that in the description of the podcast. I'll put it on my Instagram, and hopefully people will show up and support. We obviously will support. Bert and I will totally.
I love y'all.
Give you some GoFundMe love, but
thank you.
But I'm glad we got to chat.
I know. Bad circumstances, but to see your face. I've been missing you so much. I know I text you every once in a while, and I know you're so busy. I always feel so bad. I'm like, because I knew your daughter was going to school. And I was just like, I was itching. I was like, Avery, if you get a call, you need to answer the call. Because I didn't know, if Isla was going to need or want. So I was like, if she needs anything, she's like, I haven't heard from her. I said, okay, well then she's okay then.
Isla's doing great.
Is she? Oh,
yes, she's doing great. Here's a flaw of me that I'm trying to work on, right? I have all these people that mean something to me. You are one of them. My stepmother, Jan, is one of them.
I love her.
I just have these people I don't get to talk to enough because I feel like I've got to have an hour.
I know.
And instead of calling,
because you're not going to do 20 minutes.
Well, instead, I think what I have to start doing is calling and going, I have 10 minutes.
Aww.
Let's chat for 10 minutes. And that's all I have. Because what's happening instead is I don't call for a year. I don't call for 6 months because I don't have the hour. I can't find the hour, especially because you and Jan in particular are East Coast. So by the time I have the hour, you're asleep.
That's right.
And then when I get up in the morning, you're in the middle of your workday. So it's like the disconnect is that. And I have a friend actually who lives here who complained to me like, you never call me. And I'm like, because I know when I'm on the phone with you, it's going to be an hour.
It is going to be an hour. Yeah. Yep.
But I feel like if I call and have 10 minutes or 20 minutes more regularly, then the hour isn't as necessary because we'll be more caught up. You know what I mean? Just to hear each other's voice. And I apologize, I haven't FaceTimed you before we did this.
Okay. That's okay, baby. Listen,
I know you kept saying, I don't have Wi-Fi, I don't have cell service, I don't know where I am. I didn't want it to be stressful. I didn't want you to be like, oh, I'm missing the call. I thought this might be the best way to just.
It was the best way because I was able to, 2 days ago, I was able to come into a place and be like, if I have to use your Wi-Fi, because they have a generator and they freaking figured out how to link up, and it's only 10 minutes from my house. So I was like, okay, if I come here, I said to him, like, I'm meeting with someone who's very famous. And I go, and she's going to be helping our community. And they were like, absolutely. Aww. So I'm sitting in Beverly Hanks. Shout out to our realtor here in Asheville, one of the largest realtors out here. And they allowed me to have one of their conference rooms so I could do this because I was trying to do it in my car.
Thank you, Beverly Hanks.
Thank you, Beverly Hanks. Yeah, they've been fantastic. They're giving everyone their password so people at least sitting on the outside in the hot sun can connect to family. Because that's all it is. It's people trying to get a hold of loved ones. But just for you to know, we could go years, we have, without talking to each other. And it's like we never missed a freaking beat.
Yes.
Because when you have true friendships and true love and relationships with people, it shouldn't be, but when it happens and you life happens, we all have been there and going through it as we speak. But just to know that if I need you at any minute, I don't care. I would be able to get a hold of you, and I know you would move heaven and earth to drop everything to talk to me and make sure I'm okay.
Yes.
That's all I need.
Yes.
That defines it for me.
That's all I need too. And still, I miss you. And I would like to talk to you more often. Selfishly.
You just tell me when, baby. I will drop anything.
No, I'm going to start doing is just calling you and seeing if you have 10 minutes. And if you do, great. If you don't, I won't be bothered. Nothing bothers me. Nothing offends me.
No, you're so easy going. I was laughing. Hold on. I was laughing when you were telling me all the things that you have as a prepper, because you're prepared. And I was like, God, thank God, Bert has you.
Amen, sister. You know what he has? A big flashlight. That's what he has. He bought some big ass flashlight that has 1 million lumens, which he keeps calling them what? He keeps calling them luminets or something. He's got, I got 1 million luminate flashlight. That is his, that's what he brings to the table. 4 guns and a big flashlight.
Like he says, tattoo.
Yes.
It's a tattoo, Bert. It's a tattoo.
No, it's a tattoo. Yes, he bought himself, his dad, and his brother-in-law the same ridiculous flashlight last year. And his dad used the flashlight last night in the hurricane, and he is so vindicated for this. He's the hero because he bought a flashlight. And I'm like, I bought myself and my dad a solar panel that charges a battery. I bought myself and my dad a generator. His dad already has a generator.
You can have your coffee, Bert, if you need your drink.
Exactly. And I'm like, listen, the solar-powered generator will run like a coffee maker. Coffee.
Will.
Yes.
Coffee.
It'll charge all your phones. It'll run one refrigerator, like from a solar. And Bert's like, I don't know. He would never even know where it is.
No.
You know what I bought?
He wouldn't know what to do with it.
I bought this thing that I think's so cool. It's like a bladder. It's the size of a bathtub. It's a big plastic bladder. And
so you can fill it up?
You fill it up with water from your bathtub and leave it in your bathtub. But the thing about just filling up your bathtub with water is if you have damage to your house and debris gets in the water, now the water is contaminated. But if you fill it up in this bladder and close it, the top of it has a siphon that has a spout. So you can just siphon out as much as you need at a time. It's on Amazon and it was like $30.
It's the best. I'm telling you, it would be really, all these things you're talking about.
Yeah.
These emergency type of like Amazon, get these things. It's just survival kit 101.
Yeah.
I think that's something that everybody, LeeAnn,
everybody.
Needs. If you've got it, you physically know what it looks like. Even put Bert's 1000 lumens flashlight. But things that you've learned over time.
Yeah.
For those, I think that's a critical, because I think people really, truly I don't have a list. I didn't have a list.
Right,
I'm on Amazon. Like, what do you get in a case? Patriot, a 25-year food that tastes like astronaut food. Ooh, but I'll eat it.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's just things that you don't think about until afterwards. And now we're prepped. Right. So hindsight being great in 2020 and all. But I do think that people need this. They need the information, especially if you aren't thinking that you ever would. Yeah. Because I'll tell you what else is important. Get some fucking cash on you.
And you know what is important about having cash is that you have small bills.
Small bills, so critical.
If you have $100
everything under
bills,
20, nope, they won't even cash them. The gas station wouldn't take a 50 or 100. I gave out 1s, 5s, 10s, and I had a few 20s, but mostly I looked like I was a stripper. Well, I mean, a madam stripper. Like I looked like I may have owned the club that the strippers were in, because nobody's paying for this 50-year-old to get it on. Yeah, right. Maybe my husband would, but he'd be like this. Yeah, maybe lose that move. I'll kill you. But I'll tell you, I was handing the ones out, and for a moment, I had a humor moment go, am I making it rain? No, it fell on deaf ears. No one cared at that point, because everyone's just dying inside going, really? Yeah. But that's how my brain works. I was like, oh, that would be funny. Yeah. It wasn't funny at the moment. But yeah.
Funny at a different time. Funny at a different moment. But yeah, funny 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, that's what you keep. You don't keep 100s and 50s. You may have a few, but not really. For like paying $3,500 to get a tree down, okay. You can do 100s for that. But for walking around money, you have to have those small bills. It's really important. So,
and if you are a gun carrier, or you do, I mean, Doug is and is not afraid of that. He's licensed, he's trained, and we were going to get me trained because it's been years since. I'm like you. My dad's a hunter. My dad's a former chief of police. My brother. But I mean, I was shooting a squirrel with them and going, don't kill Bambi. I mean, that's the last time I shot a gun. Right. And Doug was like, we need to get you at least because this is when society. Mm-hmm. That's what we were worried about. Not our society, not our community, but it doesn't matter, because when push comes to shove, let me tell you something. If I had an infant and I couldn't get water to feed my child and I'm watching my kid starve, you better damn well believe I'm getting in that damn store. Yeah. If it came down to it, we're mamas and mama bears, they'll move cars. Mm-hmm. Like I had that, I didn't have that, but there was a moment where you're like, when do you push? When do you push and prod and pull? And it's not, I didn't need to, and I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. I didn't have to do anything that would be against my moral code, my moral ethics. But when life hits you with a fucking brick or a 2x4, like some of these people have had happen beyond belief, you don't really worry so much. You're like, you know what? I pay a lot of money for you all taxes. I'm going to get that formula. I'm going to get that water because I'm going to feed my child. If you don't give me access, so that's where I think I can see where people get desperate. I just started to get a little like, we got to be prepared for what if.
So how much are you working out your arms? Your arms look amazing.
I'm just thin. You know what it is? It's because I'm making sure that I'm flexing every time I turn back. No, I'm kidding. But you know what? So you're laughing. I've lost weight, clearly, because I've been eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or peanut butter Ritz crackers. Doug's like, can you not lose any more weight? And I was like, because I've been on Saxenda for almost 4 years now, but I'm at 139.
Nice.
I'm at fighting weight. Yeah, but here's the best part. Here's the good news. But you know what I have noticed while I've been on the phone? Mm-hmm. You see this? Mm-hmm. I'm due right here. I have a nice, as we've been sitting, you'll see if you watch this back, LeeAnn, I went like this a few times. You'll see it. I was trying to smooth out the divot right there. Apparently I make this face now instead of the what the fuck face. I'm doing the you better shut up face. And now I get this. So now I look like a freaking marionette. My arms may look good, but what's going on with the labia?
Do you look at me and go, oh, there's just too much. There's too much to do for her.
None. You have none.
Are you kidding? Look at all
closer,
that.
Though. You got to get closer because I'm real close.
This over here.
I can't. You got nothing.
I see you and I say you got nothing. You got nothing.
I don't know about that. What about that? Who's that girl?
I got nothing.
What Grand Canyon shit on my forehead? I'm sorry, but girl, we got to do the 11s. That's the 11s. And then we got Grand Canyon. And then we got the bags. But my arms look good.
Your arms look amazing. That's all anybody cares about these days is your arms.
Hold on. But the worst is this. The butt is completely turning into a melting candle. Or have you ever seen an elephant's ass? An elephant's ass, they don't have one. It just goes like that, right? Down their butt, their leg. That's what's happening. That's what happens. When you lose muscle mass because you're on a thing that makes you lose weight over years, what you do is you gain elephant ass. It's so cute. But my arms look good.
They do. They look amazing.
just always stare at me from here up. I mean, just look at me at all times from here up. Doug still thinks I have a nice butt, but I'm like, it's called a water butt. When you do it, it's like, look.
That's so
I'll show
funny.
you.
I've been working out so much. Someone told me I look like I have a BBL. I was somewhere the other day in Vegas, and this lady stopped me and she goes, "You have a great ass. It's like a shelf. Like I could put my drink on it and you could walk around with my drink on your ass." And I was like, I think that's a compliment, but I think you're telling me I have a big ass.
He's telling you have a Missy Elliott gadunk. Okay. And let me tell you something.
But I
at
work
50,
out.
What are you? Were you 53? What are you, 54? What are you at?
I'm 54.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You look great.
I'm
Shut your
54.
mouth hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get a good, I got to start squatting. I got a tonal machine that Doug uses.
Tonal's amazing. Bert just got one and he loves it. He loves it.
Doug hates it, but he'll do it. Doug does it 6 days a week. He hasn't for 2 weeks, of course. And he's like, "So you going to do it?" And I was like, "Hey, I need you to not bring up me working out, because then I'm going to start thinking that I have to. And then it becomes a chore. It's like my mom telling me to do the dishes. All of a sudden I become a teenager."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my brain goes into teenage mode of like, "Why are you trying to tell me I need to?"
Yeah. You tell me something. You tell me to do.
And he goes, "No, I'm just worried about our health. I'm worried about our sustainability, because I've lost a lot of strength. I used to be bigger girl. I was 203 pounds, but I could lift a couch." So Doug always knew he could count on me to move furniture with him. He knew he had a hoss. He used to call me his cash cow because I was supposed to be famous, And so we laugh at that because I was like, "You always should have lost the cow part." It was the cow part that ruined it. The cash, great. But he did say, he was like, "I just don't want you to be weak," know? And I'm like, "I am totally weak. Yeah. I can barely take the freaking."
Yeah, you need to start working on that right now. Because I could pick the couch up and walk across the room with it. That's why I have a BBL, because I work out. Yeah. I strength train 3 days a week. Yeah. And at 50, this is when it starts rapidly declining. You have to, if it's tonal or not, you have to start strength training. You have to.
I have to.
It's
I
required.
have to.
You have to,
because
like it or not.
If one part is going to fall apart, like, I don't know, the woman's vagina when they're 50.
Did yours fall out? What do you mean did it fall apart?
I mean, if we're really going there, it's like a desert coughing up.
Oh, you
sand.
have that. Are you in menopause or are you just perimenopausal?
Perimenopausal.
Okay. Yeah.
I went to the doctor because I had a period for like 28 days. Yeah. And I was like, "Do I have cervical cancer? Am I dying?" Because, I'll go straight to Google medical and be like, "Why am I bleeding straight?" And I knew menopause and all that stuff. And it was like, "Ooh, that could be cervical cancer." I'm like, "Hello, I'm dying." So they go and they do the transvaginal, which is like when you're pregnant again. Yeah. And they're ratcheting you and you're like, "Oh," and they're measuring the uterine lining to see if it's thinning. And then she goes, "Your cervix is pale." And I go, "I don't know what it's supposed to look like." She goes, "Well, it's supposed to be a little pinker." So basically I was like, "So you're telling me that I have a drought? Is that what we're telling me?" Mm-hmm. And that she said, "Yeah, estrogen and progesterone." So estrogen suppositories and things like that, apparently. But, it's fun. It's so fun.
Isn't it so fun?
It is so fun. It's like you're pregnant again, but you're old as dirt. And you go, why do I feel like I can't remember why I just walked in the kitchen? Yeah. Why did I just drive somewhere and go, where am I going?
Yes.
Wasn't I supposed to be? What am I doing? And I've never had brain fog like that. Like, I feel like, am I high? But I have smoked nothing.
It's the weirdest experience going through perimenopause and menopause. It's so weird. And every single woman I have talked to about their experience, every single person is totally different.
So no one I know is talking like me. So I'm like, "Oh, you don't have a problem?"
I have one friend who had vaginal dryness. No one else has had it. One friend. And she's like, "It's so hard. It's so hard. It just makes, this is not what this podcast is supposed to be back." She was like, "Sex is not fun when you have that. It's really difficult." And I think that's awful. Whereas I am sweating like 24/7 sweating.
So you got the hot flashes.
And not just hot flashes, like sweat. Like I would just be standing still and it would just run down my face. Doing nothing. Nothing. I'd change my clothes.
The breeze is blowing. Your hair is blowing, but you're dripping.
And it's just dripping. I mean, the sweat, I can walk down this, just right down the hall and I'm sweating. And then I'm kind of through it now, but when I was in it, I would have changed clothes in the middle of the night. I'd have to change my sheets the next morning. They'd be completely soaked.
Drenched.
Now, I don't have any vaginal dryness. No problem with that. That's what I had. And then I have another person who was having like heart palpitations. And that was all like from hormonal shifts.
How's your sleep?
My hair is slightly curly now.
My hair is getting thinner. That's the only problem. I have a lot of hair, but what I don't like is I'm starting to get a little bit of that shadowy thing. And I'm like,
what? There's just so many, all of it sucks. And it all makes you feel like, who am I?
Like gross? Yeah.
Like, who am I? Like, I've never sweat like this before. I sweat like a field hand. Like I feel like I've been working in a farm, you know. And
no, she did not say a field hand.
And my bra is wet every day. My boobs are enormous. I mean, you know, there's just so much. So you go, I look in the mirror and I go, I don't recognize my physical body has changed so much. And then I have my friend Sandy. She looks better than she did 10 years ago. She's like her natural process is she's kind of shedding weight. Where my natural process is, I'm adding weight. So then, I work out with her 3 days a week. So we're doing the same workout, and it's just
your body,
how your body is built, and how your genetics are, and how you process everything you put in your body, and how you process exercise. And you know, she just looks shredded. And I look sloppy.
Not at all. No, but listen, hold on. But she ain't being told she had a BBL. Yeah, let me tell you something. People pay a lot of money and go through a lot of pain. Not that you don't go through pain working out, but a BBL. So you get the benefits of the gadunk without the problems of the gadunk. I can't wait to see your butt.
Well, it's balanced with a bigger upper body also. I just filled out
But that's good though. That just means you've, Bert loves that. Bert's like, he's got Jessica Rabbit now. He's like, because he's empty nester naked man. That's what happens. They get crazy. And you're just like, everybody needs to simmer down for 1 second. It's fun. It's exciting. It's awesome. But then the reality of it is that I'm 50. Yeah. He's 16.
Yes.
So that's just the issue of like, hey, can I get you back? Can you be 35? Can you be 37?
Right.
Even 42.
Yeah.
And you get a little tired, you know, but look, I'd rather that than the opposite. So I'll take it. I'll take the attention. He even said, he was like, at least I still like looking at you. I said, well, because when you don't, you're going to have a problem. Okay. Because other people wouldn't mind looking at this either. Okay. You just got to say that. And inside I'm like, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. No one would love me but you. Huh?
Of course.
But you don't have to show them that. Right. That's just internal talk with friends. See, there's the divot. I can't.
Okay. Stop with the divot.
Oh, look it. Oh my gosh. Hold on. It stayed.
You are so crazy. Okay.
I have a dot in my head.
I have to go. We have to go. I love you.
That's good. I love you too.
I'm glad you're safe.
I'm glad I'm safe too. I hope everyone else gets okay. We got to get through this. Community strong. People like you help. We love you dearly. I know everyone will watch this and will be $1, like we said, $1 makes a difference. $5 even makes more of a difference. It doesn't matter how much. It's just a matter of the intention behind it. And everyone just trusts that it will go to people that need it desperately.
The community. That's the key. Community. So our community help your community. That's the goal.
That's right. And it's cyclical. It comes back tenfold always.
It does.
I believe in that.
You'd feel blessed if someone did it for you if you were in that position. So thank you for being who you are. You're an inspiration. You're amazing. I love you. I've always loved you. You've been an inspiration to me for 25 years. Really, you have. You have taught me a lot about life. I've learned so much from being friends with you. And this is another moment where I get to learn from you and your generosity and your beautiful spirit.
You know what she's talking about, fans, right? You know, she's talking about me teaching her how to shit in a bag. I mean, if you're just really wanting to know what I taught her was during construction, if you got to go, you got to go. That just takes us back to one of the first podcasts.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I had to make a joke out of that.
I know you had to.
I love you. I love you dearly.
I love you to pieces.
Tell Georgia and Isla that I love them. I hope they're thriving. And if Isla needs anything, Avery is a phone call away. If she needs anything ever.
Well, thank you. And tell Dougie Fresh I love him. And tell him we talked about him the whole time.
I will.
We spent 5 minutes on Helene and the rest of it was Dougie Fresh.
He'll believe that too. And he'll be like, what'd you say? I'll be like, you'd have to watch the whole thing. And he won't. Good. Because I can't have him tuning into this. Anyways, I will reach out to you. I'll send that GoFundMe again, just in case. And then also I'll give you just those dates you play with them, see when we can, and we'll just plan on it because I need to hug your neck.
I would love it. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you so much.
See you soon. Okay. Bye.
Bye, baby.